can.
All right, thank you. All right, stand by. We're going to start in a moment. We're gathering some information on a new forecast. Stand by. It's Dr. James Gridley, Director of Operations for Tsunami, coming to you from the National Tsunami Warning Center in Palmer, Alaska. This is our video conference. We'll begin in a moment here. Just a reminder, please mute phones and mics so that we can hear everybody clearly. If you are on a phone and you need to ask a question, *6 to unmute. And just a reminder, this conference call and event briefing is in support of our ongoing tsunami mission in response to operations for U.S. federal agencies, U.S. states, and territories. Only this audience will be pulled for questions and reports. All others, please use your state and local chain of command. Information on this briefing is considered pre-decisional. Partners should align upcoming decisions with official NVS messages and official alerting guidance as delivered after this call. Public. Okay. We just put out a new forecast based on updated information. We've confirmed a wave. We're using a six start constrained forecast. No alerts have changed in general except for one, and I'll show it specifically from the website in a moment. We are starting to get readings of water coming in, and it's starting to jive with our forecast. So we're starting to gain a lot of confidence, and we seem to be zeroing in on what we think is going to be the forecast soon. All right, so I'm just going to go to the website here. If you give me a moment to do that, it's just easier to show it to you that way. Let's see. Okay. And then I'll start showing. Okay. Everybody remains in the alert you were before, except for one area. So we decided, based on information, to go ahead and put Crescent City into a warning. Everyone else remains the way you've been for now. So that's going to go from the California-Oregon border down to Cape Mendocino. Now, when I say it's a warning, I just want to remind everybody it barely gets past the threshold, but it definitely gets past the threshold on all of our estimates and all of our calculations. So we feel compelled to go ahead and issue the warning for that area. We just ask everybody to understand that what that really means, and that although our confidence is pretty high and that we're at that borderline, that borderline, if it were a little higher, maybe we wouldn't. If it was a little lower, we probably still would. So those of you in Crescent City from the California-Oregon border to Cape Mendocino, we are putting you in an official tsunami warning. Now, the rest of the area remains as it was. We are continuing to get more information and more data. We have one last area that we're still concerned with before we feel fairly settled on a forecast, and that's this Port San Luis area. We just need to get a little bit more information, and we think we're going to see that very quickly here, and be able to put to bed one way or another whether we're going to put you in a warning or not. The rest we sort of expect to go unchanged, except for maybe a slight modification, but we're not really expecting that, frankly. So that's for the West Coast. Just to bring you up to speed, Hawaii has not changed its status. It's still in a warning, and they're expecting a pretty good, very sizable tsunami and impacts and inundation. And the areas I spoke of last time, the international areas like Russia, Japan, they continue to forecast and do a very similar. They're right there with us in what we're expecting to see for wave heights. So that is essentially what's going on at the moment. Again, we're expecting a little bit more information to decide on Port San Luis, and we'll likely do that by the next bulletin. All right, let me go back to this. Why don't we quickly go through our roll call, and we'll take questions. All right, WFO Anchorage, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Yes. So are you all still thinking little to no impacts for the Pribilof Islands despite being under the warning?
Can confirm, yes.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
Thank you for keeping us on it. All right, WFO Fairbanks.
No questions.
WFO Juneau.
Juneau, were there no questions?
Thank you, Juneau. WFO Seattle.
Seattle here, no questions.
Thank you kindly. WFO Portland.
WFO Portland, and we do have a question. We've been getting questions about why there's a difference in wave height forecasts along the coast. So like Seaside is 2 feet and other areas are 1 foot. Can you just give a really brief explanation?
Hi, Trina. A lot of that is due to the bathymetry along the coastline. So that's why we use darts for forecasting rather than coastal gauges, is because there are so many local effects along the coastline.
Perfect. That's what we thought. Appreciate you confirming it. No other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Trina. WFO Medford.
Medford weather here, no questions.
Thank you, Medford. Eureka. WFO Eureka, you're up.
Hey, yeah, saw the warning come through WIA and everything. So Crescent City, no questions there. The warning did include Eureka, Humboldt Bay, which has even more people. So I'm just curious if there is a forecast wave height for Humboldt Bay. I don't see one in any of the products at the moment.
We're checking.
Yeah, Eureka should be all right.
Stand by.
I'm seeing 30 centimeters for that right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, our main focus will remain Crescent City then. Thanks so much.
Yeah, we understand it to put Crescent City and we had to put everything between those breakpoints. So we appreciate your understanding. All right, WFO Monterey, San Francisco, you're up.
Hello, James. Hey, thanks for doing this. Really appreciate you. And the question I have, and maybe Summer, you can look this up really quick. Santa Cruz Harbor, of course, is our big bell that rings all the time. Is there any sort of wave amplitude or surge amplitude that we're talking about there for the Santa Cruz Harbor?
We've looking at 36 centimeters right now. So
okay,
just over advisory threshold, but not a huge concern.
Okay, copy that. And then the last thing that came up on the Callaway State call was the county of Santa Barbara was asking about oil rigs, and this is more geared towards the Coast Guard. So when the Coast Guard reports out for Sector San Francisco or District Southwest, they just want to make sure that the oil rigs on the Santa Barbara Channel have all been alerted. So I'm just saying that out loud now so the Coast Guard can hear it and answer it later. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. We appreciate you looking out for so many people. All right, WFO Oxnard, Los Angeles.
Oxnard, no questions, standing by for the information on Port St. Louis.
We will get that to you as soon as we have it. Thank you. WFO San Diego. Recalling WFO San Diego. All right, nothing heard. Alaska Region Rock.
Hi, James. This is Ben from the Alaska Region Rock. Just a quick, for your information, we heard from the Anchorage VAC that there's a minor eruption of a volcano off the Kamchatka coast. Just for your situational awareness, they put out a SIGNET, just an aviation warning. It's not a big eruption, but just in case someone starts trying to correlate that with the earthquake.
Thank you, Dr. Heath. I guess some Mother Nature's putting on a show tonight. Western Region Rock, you're up.
Hello from Western Region. No questions for the tsunami, but do want to alert you to some media partners in the NWS-Tsunami Slack room. They're asking some questions about the upgrade to a warning. So either you folks or Eureka, just a heads up. That's all.
Thank you. We'll cover that as best we can. Appreciate any help we can get from everybody on that as well. Okay, NWS Operations Center at headquarters.
Center here, no questions.
Thank you so much. Okay, State Warning Point, Alaska.
Alaska Warning Point, no questions.
Thank you, State Warning Point, Alaska. EMCR, British Columbia.
British Columbia, no questions.
Thank you so much. State Warning Point, Washington. Recalling State Warning Point, Washington. Nothing heard. State Warning Point, Oregon.
Oregon, no questions.
Thank you, Althea.
Sorry, this is Washington State, Maximilian. Sorry, I was having some audio issues. So question I noticed on the forecast points, less than a foot for Washington State. What's the thought on the threshold for canceling the advisory for Washington State? Timing on that? Any thoughts?
Hi, Maximilian. At this point, our forecast uncertainty still has you close in a couple of spots, so we will probably wait until we start seeing observations there to cancel the advisory.
Okay, thank you.
Maximilian, we'll try to get you out as soon as we can. Does that make sense? Yep, we understand. State Warning Point, California. I can't remember. Did we leave off with you?
Hi, James. Yeah, this is Yvette. I'm on. Thanks.
Hey,
A couple questions. So want to echo what Brian Garcia said. We've been receiving some questions about those oil rigs offshore. So want to make sure somebody is communicating with those companies and circling back with them just to make sure they're aware and taking precautions. Next, kind of two questions. What is the confidence with Port St. Louis going into a warning? And then also for any other points along our coast, are we seeing any other potential for elevation to a warning or potentially dropping them off of the advisory?
Right now, that breakpoint with Port St. Louis is the only other section that we're really monitoring closely. We've got some discrepancies in our different forecast models, but several of them have you reliably above warning in that one. So we're trying to get a measurement at midway to confirm the directionality of the tsunami, and that'll determine what we do there. And we expect that within the next hour.
Okay, so confirming we're not anticipating any other warning points and then too soon to drop any out of the advisory. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, copy that. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvette. U.S. Coast Guard Arctic District.
Coast Guard Arctic District, no question.
Thank you so much. Canadian Coast Guard. Recalling Canadian Coast Guard. All right, nothing heard. U.S. Coast Guard Northwest District. U.S. Coast Guard Northwest District. Nothing heard. U.S. Coast Guard Southwest District. Coast Guard Southwest District. Nothing heard. U.S. Navy.
Coast Guard Southwest District guy is here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Any questions?
Okay. Yep. So we have our sector LALB. They have reached out to the oil rigs in their area and let them know of the tsunami. If that answers those questions, that's all I have.
U.S. Coast Guard, thank you for doing that. All right. I think we're on U.S. Navy.
Neighbor to Southwest, no questions.
Southwest, all right. Last call on U.S. Navy. Nothing heard. FEMA, Regions 9-10 are your headquarters.
FEMA Regions had no questions.
Thank you,
FEMA
Hannah.
Region 9, no questions.
Thank you.
FEMA
All right, any
headquarters.
other? Thank you. Any other questions from any other federal agencies on or anyone else? All right, just to recap, no, the only change is the addition of the warning for the Crescent City area. We're still looking at the Port St. Louis. We'll get on that and probably have a decision by the next call, next bulletin. I did speak with our forecaster a few minutes ago and got a sense for, she thinks that we've kind of seen what we're going to see at this point. We're not looking at any major upgrades to the forecast. We'll continue to keep a close eye on that, but it's starting to look pretty good. All right. Any last questions? Okay. Thank you, everybody. We will have another call in about 45 minutes. See you then. Thanks for all that you do.